Hello, friend. Welcome back to part 3. I am Gina Liberty, and you are on a journey with me. Kind of a shortened version of my life, my journey, my weight loss journey, where the weight issues began and where I am now. And if you were here last week, you could see that I got a little bit emotional. I try not to be emotional. I don't know why. That's a whole nother issue. But I'm usually not an emotional person, so I try to stop and contain myself before I move on. So if you saw that from last week, that's what was going on there, because I just forget, because I don't talk about my story that much, not on a day-to-day basis, to where it's, normal for me to talk about it, normal for me to hear myself talking about it. And so when I'm actually talking about it, it kind of takes me back to that moment. And that's what happened. So anyway, today is going to be super short, because I just kind of want to talk about a pivotal moment in my health, because those 8+ years, if you were here for last week, those 8+ years of chronic pain and, being 100 pounds heavier than I am now, and just trying to do all of the things and not finding any relief, not finding any help, not finding anything. Just here, I'm going to throw these diagnoses at you. I'm going to throw this medication at you, and we'll just see what happens and see what sticks or doesn't stick or whatever. I just felt like I was a guinea pig. I felt like a hamster on a hamster wheel. I know I mentioned that last week, but it's true. That's what I felt like. I felt like they were just, okay, that one's not working, or okay, you got to the highest dose and now it's not working. Okay, let's try another medication. And I was so tired of the medications. I didn't want any medications at all. So I had a friend reach out to me, and she was in this direct sales, network marketing, whatever. And she was talking about gut health. And I was like, I've never heard about gut health or anything. And I was pretty skeptical about any of the direct sales, network marketing companies, because, people talk about stuff like that. And I don't think to dig in and find out the information myself. It was just, I knew that they had a reputation, and I didn't know why. And I still don't understand why. There are some slimy ones out there, but there's going to be slimy people, companies everywhere you go, in every field, in everywhere. But that doesn't mean they're all like that. And I found that to be true with this one. So, since I felt like I was at my wit's end, and I had tried every single thing that I knew to try, and I was so tired, I was mentally tired, I was physically tired, and I didn't want to do, I didn't know what direction to go. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to try this and see what happens, because what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? Am I going to feel worse? Can I feel any worse? I was so desperate. I was so desperate that I decided to do it, because she told me it would work on blood sugar imbalances. It would work on inflammation. And so I was like, and weight. She mentioned weight. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try this, because, there's a money back guarantee. I think it was 60-day money back guarantee. Why not try it and see? And I tell you what, it didn't take long. It did not take long. It took less than 2 months. It took maybe a few weeks for me to notice that I had more energy, which was new to me, because I hadn't had it in so many years. I started to sleep better. My joint pain went away, because it had gotten so bad that I couldn't even hold up a coffee cup without my elbow hurting. It was so bad. And I already talked about my daily migraines. So I noticed that a few weeks in. And then when I hit about 2-ish months, between 2 and 3 months, I just kept going with these products, because I could tell a little bit was going on. So I was like, let's keep going and see what happens. Guess what happened? The biggest thing that just literally changed my life. I stopped having migraines. I stopped having daily, every day, all day long headaches. I started shouting this from the rooftops, because I was like, this stuff, it is not a magic pill, but it is magic to me. It is magic to me. I could not believe that this happened. I was taking 3 products and they all dealt with gut health, inflammation, blood sugar. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. So this is kind of proof that your body will respond to the right support, right? And as I've talked about before in different videos, there are different phases of life and your body needs different support at different phases of your life. It's just the way it goes. So don't ever give up. There's always something that you can tweak or do differently that will help you in the current stage that you're in. Because it's not about fixing yourself, fixing your body, whatever. It's just about the right support for the right stage of life. So I continued on with it. I actually did it for a business for a while, and it became part of my story and my journey to get to where I am now as a weight loss coach. I had to go through that. I was helping lots of people with their gut health. I was talking about poop all the time. So we can talk about poop. It's fine. But it gave me hope, which was the biggest thing that I needed right in that moment, because I felt like the hard part is behind me. I finally found something that's worked. I then started focusing on one thing at a time, which I started way back then, which is crazy because I know I need one small step at a time. And I didn't do anything crazy. I just started taking the products. I lost probably, I can't even remember, 30 pounds in the first year just by changing this. I didn't change anything else for a long time because I wanted to see what this could do for me. And so 30 pounds down. And then, yeah. So I just had to share that because it was such a pivotal moment in my journey and it made a huge difference. And then guess what? Perimenopause hit and the rule book changed again. So yet another stage, yet another hurdle, and you have to kind of refigure things again. So follow me, come back next week, and we will come back to part 4, and we'll talk about perimenopause and all of that and what changes I had to make then. And just, I tell you what, our life is an emotional roller coaster. And it can be a physical and mental battle or feel like it at times. But there is hope and it can get better. And this stage of life can be the best. It can be the best, but it's a lot about how we think about it as well. So if you want to continue following on in this journey, there are 2 more parts that I will be doing. And next week we are talking about that perimenopause thing. Imagine that. That's what we're here for, right? So follow me and see me next week on part 4. And I would love to hear your comments below on if you've had anything to do with gut health. If that has ever crossed your mind, what you think about it, I would love to start a conversation. So until then, I will see you next week. And remember, something is always better than nothing. Chat soon.